Hello, Alex. This is the
Hi,
first time I'm
Sophie.
talking to you today.
Absolutely. Ever this week. We've made it. It's
Yes, this is the last
September
one.
30th, 6 p.m. We've made it.
Yes, yeah. Like nope, that's not how math works. 5.5 more hours until we can
Something like,
start
yeah.
new books.
Yeah. I don't think I'll stay until midnight though, just so I can start a new book.
No, me either.
Maybe a couple of years ago, but no, not today.
Totally, yeah. Um,
So, how do you feel? Recap. I know we spoke about a little bit of the very popular lively lives we had, but now that we're officially on the last day of the month, how do you feel?
Exhausted. I'm super ready to read new releases, to read books that are new to me, to continue on series that I like. I want to read the sequel to The Watchmaker Filigree Street so bad. And I'm just really excited for October and all the things I'll be reading then. It's funny because I keep saying, like, I'm so tired of rereading, even though I gave 8 out of the 11 books that I read 5 stars. So, like, very clearly, I read a lot of awesome books, but I'm just kind of ready to move on. A month was a long time to do this. Um, that's kind of it. I have to revisit my would you rather answer for would you rather only reread or only read new books.
Yeah.
That's kind of
See,
it.
we learned something.
We
This is what
did.
this all been about. We learned something new. That's
I
great.
didn't think I was going to get sick or tired of sick or tired of rereading, but apparently it happens. Yeah. How about
Yeah.
you?
I feel relieved because for the first time ever, probably, not counting like book challenges or like reading challenges, I stuck to my TBR completely. Like I didn't DNF a book. I added books, but that's fine. That doesn't count.
Hmm.
Uh, and I finished all of my books on time. So that's an achievement. I'm very proud of myself. And yeah, just like you, I would say I think 10 out of my 12 books are 5 stars, which is not a bad month.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I did that too, and then I stuck to my TBR mostly. Just switched the host for Nevermoor, and that's it. Oh, and I added Nimona, but whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but that's actually kind of surprising that we both stuck to our TBRs so well, because that
Yeah.
never happens.
Considering
Like
we could have like picked up any book to reread, but yeah, I think that was great.
totally.
We learned so much. I remembered so much. I didn't know I'd forgotten about those books. Uh, yeah, overall, not a bad experience, but I don't think I'll be doing it again.
Especially a
For
whole month.
yeah,
Jesus.
the month thing, it was very ambitious of us.
Yeah. You I think you were sick of it before I was, like a week and a half in, you were like, oh, I miss new books, and I was like, I'm fine. And then 20 days in, I was like, yeah, I feel ya.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I was like, but this book came out, and like this book is available. But what if I start this book? And I was like, no,
Yeah.
there's a goal at the end of it, and I don't know what the goal was, but but we've
A
achieved
thumbs
it.
up from me. Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to talk about the last 3 books you read?
Oh yes, yeah. So I'll start with Nimona because that's the one that I finished after The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, which I talked about enough. I finished it after our video, and then I was like, good, I talked about everything I wanted to talk about. Nimona is a graphic novel about a sidekick to a villain, which is a cool kind of setup because it's not about a superhero, about a supervillain. And she's a shapeshifter, and she kind of inserts herself into the life of this supervillain, and it's just like, I'm your new sidekick. And it kind of goes from there. um, I didn't reread the graphic novel, but the audio adaptation, which was kind of a throwback to reading or listening to audiobooks as a kid, because the way that kids audiobooks are made is with like background music, fight noises, different accents, different voices, full cast, that kind of thing, right? So it was really enjoyable. It was only 2.5 hours or something, so very quick. Um, but I enjoyed it a lot. The ending's a lot darker than I remembered, which is kind of a theme with a lot of these books. I always like
Interesting.
zone out when it comes to the dark moments, and I'm like, oh, this is a fun story. And then I reread it, and I'm like, damn, they went there.
It's like childbirth for you. It's like you need to block this out so you can do it again.
Totally. Yeah, so that's that.
Because those are your
Nimona
babies. The
and
books are your babies.
yeah. Oh my god, I love that. So both Nimona and Oryx and Crake are that way, but I still love them. So that, was a nice experience. So audio
Yeah.
adaptation was a good choice.
So I was reading God's Behaving Badly, I think, the last time we checked in, because we didn't speak between those two times.
Yeah.
I finished it. It was good. It was not as good as I remembered it, because I think that I read it in a time when I just finished Percy Jackson and I was craving that Greek mythology niche. And it was my initial rating was, this is like reading Percy Jackson, but like R-rated, which it is. It's extremely graphic. It's very brutal. It's very funny. It has this. I don't know if Marie Phillips is English, because the book is set in London, but I don't know if she's from London. But I can definitely pick up some of that dry British humor. I like the writing. The story is fine. It's a little bit of retelling of Orpheus, a little bit, but not in basically, because there's a part where I need to check if that's a spoiler, if it's on the back of the book or not. But whoever knows the story of Orpheus knows that he's lost the love of his life, and he went to the underworld to get her.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a retelling of that a little bit. And yeah, overall was funny. It was good. I think I have maybe a couple of clips. I don't know if they're going to be any good.
When you're reading a book about gods and their powers, and then outside it's a raging storm right when Zeus appears. Can you hear that? That's the end of the world via rain. So in God's Behaving Badly, one of the things I don't remember at all is how their powers work, or like why they're sort of powerless. I can't figure it out. I can't remember it. But this is one of the things that's written very funny. There is a confrontation of a sort. There's two people, and Apollo is mad at one of them, and he just brings Ares into the room, and he's like, "Just stand there." And Ares is like, "What do you want me to do? Like, do you want me to fight someone?" And he's like, "No, just wait here." And instantly, those two people who are mad at Apollo are becoming mad at each other, and they start fighting with each other because Ares is just affecting their mood, and it's so funny, and that's an amazing power to have.
For 2007, this has a few good points where it considers global warming in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
There was a very short, brief line that it made me laugh a lot. Let me see if I can find it. They're saying, so Apollo's job is to just be the god of the sun, so it's not a big deal. The sun comes up, the sun goes down, but then they blame global warming on Apollo as well.
Mm.
So it was like a funny joke. From a 5 probably to a 3, and I just think because I was not hyped as I used to be. It's still a funny read. I'm just not going to be recommending it actively to everyone because it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
Okay.
But it's entertaining.
The next one that I finished was The Trials of Morrigan Crow, which is Nevermoor 1 by Jessica Townsend. It's a Harry Potter-esque, but more modern adventure, magical school story. Yikes. That's kind of all I can say about it, because I think even the main plot twist, it's on the back of the book, but it's more fun if you don't know about it. It's still fun going in. The ending is very unique for a middle grade book. It went in a direction where I was like, nice. I don't think anyone's done this. The jokes are a lot funnier the first time around than the second time around. So sometimes rereading that, I'm like, okay, middle grade, second time around, I'm like, okay, whatever. But it still held up. I still gave it 5 stars, and I'm now rereading the second book, but I'll take my time because the third book doesn't come out until the end of October now, which sucks. But yeah, no, that definitely held up, and it was kind of a fun little in-between read. Yeah.
I will be definitely reading it either before or with my niece.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's something I'm looking forward to. So the second book I finished was Looking for Alaska. Mm-hmm. And I stand by it. It's still my favorite John Green. It was awesome. it was kind of slow starting, but then there was all of those quotes and all of those, just the way he has, let me start this again because he's good with language, I'm not. The way John Green has with words and with language and just building up a sentence to make it sound very funny or very obnoxious or very, very deeply sad. I don't know how he does that, but it's pure magic, and I loved it so much. And I think I understand why this book was taught at school at certain times, unless I imagined it. I think that it was part of the curriculum in schools, and it's great. I really liked it. The only downside, like not even downside, but something that if I had to be critical about it, I didn't enjoy it as much. Was the part where everything seems larger than life. You know, it's like that high school, and they are in a boarding school of a sense. They're away from their parents and everything. So every single prank, every single cigarette, every single it just that's it. And yeah, probably that's what it felt like to be a teenager, and maybe that's what it's like to be a teenager. I don't know in the States, but I've noticed that about in a lot of YA books when just like senior year or like junior or senior year, just before college, kids think that everything they have right now, it's everything they'll ever have. Everything is larger than life, and who cares? And college is going to change everything. And maybe that's just the culture, you know, maybe that's different from
Or
what
just
I
that's
grew
how
up
you
in.
feel and then when you grow up, you're like, that was funny. I'll write about that, sort of.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I definitely remember drama being bigger in high school and things feeling bigger.
And felt like the end of the world constantly.
Everything constantly felt like the end of the world. I know. I don't. It's not that I've forgotten that feeling. It just I also always knew that there was a perspective of I'm gonna be a grown up one day and probably have to learn what taxes are. So that's just never in the YA books I read.
Yeah.
Except for Eliza and her monsters.
I'll just quickly say a few words about Oryx and Crake. Mainly that past Sophia and whatever my memory retained is an idiot. Like, there are two.
No, she was protecting you.
Okay, well, actually, three things. My main thing, no, I'm kidding. So, firstly, I misremembered a lot of the not problematic, disturbing content in the book. It talks a lot about human trafficking, child prostitution. Yeah. There's a part where I was like, this is so dark, like so terrible. And it's not even in a way that it's the dystopian parts that fuck you up, but the things that actually happen right now.
Yeah, Margaret Atwood.
That's what Margaret Atwood is known for. It's great.
What a lady.
You read it and you're like, I want to fucking burn my eyeballs. Well, I want to burn my ears because I was listening to it. And then the other thing is that I remember two plot twists, none of which are plot twists, because the first one is literally, the first one I thought was a plot twist is that Crake made the new humans, which he did, and it said in the first chapter that the new humans are children of Crakes, and they're called Crakers. So very clearly he made them. And then the second thing, it's not as obvious, but if you pay attention, it's not a surprise to you what happens in the end. So, like, I don't know what I was remembering. Anyway, there's a part that's very different reading it in COVID times than in 2015 or whenever I read it. And her imagination was kind of spot on. Like, a lot of the things I was like, oh shit, yeah, you foresaw what humanity's going to do with this. But the funny thing about it was that I'm just quoting my Goodreads review here. If you read that, that's all I'm saying. She imagined the dystopian future to still use DVDs and CDs. Like, that was the format that everything was stored in, which was like the modern way rather than books. So that was funny. But other than that, it was very shocking and smart. A lot of the things you could just talk, like every chapter you could make a video about, which obviously I won't, but it's very pointed and intelligent and so fucked up. So fucked up. Yeah.
Wow.
It's so dark, I'm not going to recommend it as widely anymore as I have.
Well, you would, just with a trigger warning, right?
Yeah.
Like, beware,
Mm-hmm.
it will spook you. Maybe I will read it for the Fright Nights. Fuck, why can't I get this right? Fortnite Fright.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's brilliant, but also everyone's terrible. It's that kind of book where you're like, you're a horrible person. All three main characters. I'm like,
Speaking of horrible people, Eliza and her monsters. Listen, I don't like Eliza.
really?
I love the book. I understand that she's going through some shit. I understand anxiety and her depression. All of that is spot on. I mean, Francesca Zappa is, I hope she's okay and she doesn't suffer from those things herself, but the way she described them are so spot on. It's amazing. And again, I tapped the book. I have all of those moments where it's like, yep, that's the words. If ever I need to express myself, I'm gonna use those words. But Eliza's not a nice person. And I can't tell if that's because all of the mental health issues she's experiencing just took over her personality, or it's because she's not a nice person.
Yeah, I don't remember, so I can't comment on it, but
So,
interesting.
in a nutshell, the story is about Eliza, who's making this comic book. Well, it's a graphic. She's turning into a graphic novel, but it started just like her images and a story in pictures that she's posting online, and it grew in this enormous huge thing when she has a very large fan base. There are millions of people who are following her work and every week are expecting her to upload new chapters to that. And she has a forum and she's very famous, but nobody knows who she is in real life because she's protecting her privacy, because she's just a girl in high school and she's smarter than to go and be, hey, I'm the person, look at me. She's making a lot of money out of that, but her parents don't know that, even though they helped her set up a bank account. But at some point she was like, I'm making way too much money. I'm going to open a new bank account and transfer just a little bit to my actual bank account that my parents can see. So they think I'm doing okay, but they don't know how important I am and how famous I am and how she's making enough money to put herself through college. But my biggest problem with this book was, first of all, how clueless all the parents are, how bad they are, and how just one-dimensional all of those are. Just like, you need to care about your future, you need to find a job that's going to make you money, and blah 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 blah. Because on the one hand we have Eliza, and on the other hand we have Wallace, who is this sweet shy guy, the perfect boyfriend, also suffering from crippling anxiety. And he's also on the forums for Eliza's fan fiction, and that's how they meet. But on the ones, both of them are very creative. So he's a creative writer. She draws those amazing comics and pictures. And on both sides, parents are like, that's just a hobby. That doesn't matter. And I checked. The book came out in 2017. I mean, come on, 2017. That's like, we were able to make money out of the internet through our art. So it's not news. It shouldn't be news. And so, yeah, just the parents being so, there's not one good adult in this book, aside from maybe Eliza's teacher, but she's so minor and she doesn't help her in any way. So what is even the point of having a good adult role model if they're not gonna role or model you in any way? And then her parents are also, but they're they think of this as the cool type of parents, because the first time Eliza mentions she has a boyfriend, not even together, just a boy who's a friend, they're like, the mom is, I'm gonna schedule an appointment for you with the gynecologist so we can put you on the pill. What? This is not good parenting. I'm sorry. it's not just like have safe sex, good luck. It's like listen to what your daughter is telling you, because this whole episode put Eliza in this huge stress, and she was going through anxiety, being like, what are my parents expecting of me?
Yeah.
So just so poorly handled parenting wise. But yeah, a lot of feelings, as you can tell, as usual. I have more feelings than actual facts about the book. There's a parallel book series that she follows, and the author of those books didn't finish this series. So they were very popular. It's like the equivalent again of like Harry Potter or something like that. And then the author was writing, and then she stopped and she never finished the series. And the last book in the series never came out.
Like Patrick
And
Rothfuss.
well, did he say he's never going to finish?
Let's not get into that, but sure.
Okay. But in this case, she just like, and there were like speculation that she went crazy and went to live in the woods, and she's a hermit now and she's never coming out. But bottom line is like she's never writing again. She's not a public figure anymore, and there's no ending to the series. And that's kind of what the parallel with Eliza's experiencing with her. So she reaches out to that author and she writes her a letter, and the author replies, which I'm sorry if that's a spoiler, but it's a very, very good point, because this letter should be shared with every single person, especially if that's a young adult person who is a creator and who puts their content out into the world in these days, like day and era, because it's amazing how well she put it into words. And again, I don't know if that was like sort of way of the author or Francesca putting into words what she feels in author, but it was so brilliant, and it really should be shared. Like this should be shared with kids in school and their commencement speeches or whatever, because everyone creates content these days in one way or another. It might be a TikTok, it might be again fan art or whatever, and nobody thinks of how much that takes from them. And once you get 1 like, 2 likes, and it just like creates a snowball effect, and kids are getting legit anxiety and they don't know how to deal with that. So yeah, this book also can take like a full good size video to discuss, but it's great. And my favorite characters are her brothers that are kind of twins, but they're not. It's a weird concept. But
Editing Sophia here, we forgot Normal People, which is a book that Alex also read, and past Alex can explain a little bit about the book, but we didn't talk about it in our Zoom chat. We just forgot. So here you go.
This week's book that wasn't on my original TBR is Normal People by Sally Rooney. It's about 2 people. We meet them when they're in their last year of school in Ireland, and they are misunderstood in their own way. Marianne is just a lonely girl. She doesn't fit in high school properly. And he is very popular. He's the jock character as much as that's possible in an Irish setting. But they start secretly seeing each other without telling anyone. And then later when they meet again in college, the roles kind of reverse, because Marianne fits in perfectly in that weird crowd and he kind of can't find his place. And it's beautifully written, as all Sally Rooney books are, and it's just so full of real life situations. Just so beautifully written in the sense that I related instantly with Marianne and what she was going through and her feelings and her thoughts, and I felt how lost both of them are at times, and how they find comfort in each other, but also how they're the only people who can unbalance each other. And that relationship is described in such way that it's easy to connect and easy to picture yourself in, and it's painful, but it's bittersweet, and it just all of the feels. This book is all of the feels. I also noticed a common theme in Sally Rooney's books. So far I've read 2, but she's written 3, so I feel like it's a decent number to say in her books. She very lightly sprinkles in some topics of political conversation in her books in a very gentle, very not a heavy way. So she's not telling you what to think, she's not telling you this is what this book is about, but just through her characters she puts tiny bits of wisdom, I would say political wisdom and hints, and through some of how the characters joke, and it's a smart lady.
Slightly more disheveled editing Sophia next day. I also forgot to say that Alex thought of another game, like a bookish game for this episode, because we had these little games or questions that she asked me in the past episodes or like vlogs. So this time we included our friend Sarah, who just started her booktube channel as well, and Alex made a little bookish game up, or like the how well do you know your friend. So we filmed this a week and a little bit ago, but I'm just inserting the footage here now.
Welcome to Game Night,
Yay.
Bookish Edition. Today's game is very simple. Sarah and Sophia, thank you for joining us. You both have each have a pad on which you will be writing your answer, and it's your basic "How well do you know your friend?" game, but in a bookish edition, obviously. And each one of you will answer the question what she thinks the other person would say. So for example, if my question is, what's your favorite color? Sarah should put Sophia's favorite color and Sophia should put Sarah's favorite color.
Okay.
Like, what do you think the other person would answer? We're gonna start easy with an easy one. So name your favorite character.
It's too easy.
Have to ease in.
Okay, yeah, but like I don't know what your favorite character is. I'm already failing.
I don't have a favorite character.
On to the second question. Are you ready? Name your favorite series and the favorite book in the series for bonus points.
Okay. I can't remember the name. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Show it.
Oh, wow, I'm bad at this. Can you read
Court
it?
of second one.
Yes. The Court of Thorns and Roses, the second one, which is A Court of Mist and Fury.
Sure.
I'd say that's a very strong contender for favorite book. It's definitely in my top 10, so I would say that's accurate.
But
And I put the Raven Cycle, the second book, Dream Thieves. Now I remember it.
Yes, you're right. What would you say your favorite series is? Also Raven Boys, or?
I don't have like a top 1. I have a top 10. So that's one of my favorite series. Another one is like the Vampire Academy series by Rochelle Mead.
Yes, I knew that, but I wouldn't know what your favorite book in that would be.
I don't really have one I think of them all as a group together.
Okay.
And then I guess the other answer would have been like the Cassandra Clare Clockwork Angel series.
Yes, yeah.
Again, no favorite.
favorite
book them together.
Oh.
Okay.
What was the last 5-star book you read?
I don't even know the answer to this question. Okay, got it. Wait, so I know what mine is, but yours, what have you read recently? You've been rereading a lot of stuff. I don't know what the last book you read is, so this is going to be wrong, but are we ready?
Yes.
Ready?
Oops. Not quite. The last one I finished was Nimona. But I finished it like 2 days ago, so.
Okay.
Felix Ever After?
Yes, Felix is correct.
Nice, because I know you didn't give the last books that you read 5 stars, so I was like, this is the last one I remember you saying?
Mm-hmm.
You talked about it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Favorite author? Reveal.
Yes. Both of them are correct.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Cassandra Clare's one of them, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't put her in my top. Like, I've definitely read a lot of her books, but I wouldn't say she's one of my favorite authors.
Yeah, what would you say?
Like, my top ones would be, like, Sarah Dessen or Marie Brennan or Sarah J. Maas. Like, if you had said Sarah J. Maas, that would have for sure got it.
I forgot about that shit. I work terribly under pressure.
Me too.
Your favorite? Oh my god.
Great. Okay, 2 more. What's the strangest book habit you think you have?
I don't even know. Because I feel like that's mean to be like, haha, you're weird because you do this thing.
Oh, no, I don't think, okay, I read it as unique. Something that you do that I don't do. So not weird, unique.
Okay, I don't know if you do this, but I'm going to write it down.
Maybe she'll start doing this.
I'm sorry about my writing.
For myself, that's just like a burn.
My writing is really messy, but I hope you can read this.
Okay. Talk to kitties while I read? I
don't know.
I do. I mean, I talk to my cats a lot. I like that you listen to the songs and you want to drink the drinks and you want to eat the food and all that kind of stuff that's mentioned in the book.
I think
that's very cool. I just don't do that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
I just feel like it makes it more atmospheric. If like they're listening to a song, well, there's an emotional scene happening, or like if they're in a club and a song comes on, it's like you get more into the experience if you're listening to the song while it plays out. I like it.
Yeah, I think that's cool too.
Sophia, what would you say your like strangest thing is? Because I have no idea.
It's not strange, but like I read like 10 books at the same time. Well, right now it's like 3, but sometimes I read so many books at the same time, which is just a little silly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sure a lot of people do that. Just it's kind of where I'm like, do I have to be like that?
If you only could bring only one book to a deserted island, and it can't be How to Build a Boat, what would that book be?
Sorry, 1 second.
Oh wait, I just wrote down what I would put. Maybe you would put this too, because you're also a practical person. I'll just keep it. I feel like I just gave you my answer.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna change it. I was gonna go for Capture the Castle again because you've read it so many times. You're gonna like it again if it's a fiction book.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
no, I'm very no nonsense. This is my answer, but How to Survive on a Desert Island.
Okay,
Bye.
like a foraging guide.
It's like beautiful poetry isn't gonna help me figure out how to crack this coconut. So.
Okay. Yes,
That's fair.
Yeah. Okay.
And now I know who I want to be stranded on a deserted island with in case it happens. I choose Sarah. What's the first book you gotta read? We talked about it again in the live, but it's for all those people who didn't get a chance.
Yes, it's The Future of Pepper Harrow. So the sequel to The Watchmaker Filigree Street, everything with the long title. I can't wait because I keep seeing like fan art about a specific scene on Tumblr. Okay, what's the first one that you'll be reading?
I will be reading The Skin We're In. Very excited for that one. And then my niece came to me yesterday, and take it or leave it in the video, I don't care. She goes, I'm gonna need your help. And she doesn't give me any context. She just tells me, I'm gonna need your help with some fat and skinny questions.
Okay.
I was like, excuse me, what? What are we doing here?
Yep.
Like, should I start getting offended? What's happening? I was like, backtrack. Like, imagine I'm not in your head and I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, there's this book we're reading in school and I need your help with fat and skinny questions. I was like, okay, again, a little bit more. So it turns out they're reading a book and they need to come up with the questions and they need to answer the questions themselves. And they call them fat and skinny because the fat questions are the deep ones, the more meaningful ones when you give a full answer. And Christina's example was, an example of a fat question is, why is grandma depressed?
Oh no!
And an example of a skinny question, those are the simple ones that you can answer shortly, is, what color was grandma's dress?
That's so funny.
I love that kid so much.
I thought that was going in a different direction.
Yeah, I did so too, and that's why she approached me for it. But no, what would you know? The name of the book is Touching Spirit Bear.
Okay.
I don't know if I like that name.
Yeah,
so
is it an Indigenous author?
I hope to God, yes, but we'll see. I need to research a little bit more. And then I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm going to check it's 5-hour book. I'll listen to it during the weekend. But she was like, you need to read up to chapter 4 because that's where we are. I was like, okay. So I have homework.
That's cute though. That's nice. Oh, this is it. This is the end. We're never going to see each other again.
This is the end of this chapter of this book,
Yes.
of this challenge.
Okay.
It was fun. Overall, it was more fun than anything else, and I'm very glad we did it.
Yes, me too.
And thank you for all the heavy lifting, because like I said in my other brief moments of fame, you did all the work and I was just there.
No. You contributed like plenty. All good.
Mm.
It was fun. Thank you for joining me. I wouldn't have done this if it was just me. Like,
Yeah.
well, I
You
would have
need like
done the book project by myself, but I wouldn't have filmed it. So
you need a little bit of like bad influence to keep you going. Which
no, and accountability. You know?
that's what I meant.
Okay.
Totally.
Different vibes. Okay. Well,
Okay.
thank you for everyone who watched these very long videos.
Yes,
Just
we
thought
appreciate
they were
you.
really funny, and I couldn't cut anymore. So, too bad. Also, us in 10 years are gonna have a blast rewatching this.
For sure.
'Cause
I
love
mean,
that. That's what YouTube is
it's
for
gonna be
me
great.
now. It's just like digital diary. So it's
Yeah,
cool.
take that, Margaret Atwood. There's no videotapes. It's all YouTube.
Yep. No CD-ROMs. Okay. Goodbye. Are we done? Oh God. You're
Freedom!
freedom. Yeah.
We're free now.
Sorry,
That's
1 second.
great.
Doesn't matter if I drink on camera, but I'd just rather not. So I'm gonna
Can
cut
you
this out.
sponsor them?
Huh?
Ask them to sponsor you.
Nude? Yeah. As a magical stool. Okay. He's getting pants.
Show us the pants. Don't show us the pants. You have to rate the video higher.
Yeah, R-rated. BB in underwear.